Hey everybody, welcome to Optimism Fractal. Welcome back to our fourth season. I hope you enjoyed the break. I'm pleased to be here with Rosmari, Will, Vlad, Nuno, and Jason. We've been catching up, having a good time. If anybody wants to share any thoughts or anything like that, Will likes to dance and move around a bit, then feel free. I have a presentation that I could share to introduce you and show you what we're going to do today. But yeah, feel free to jump in or have some fun if anybody wants.
Roll that beautiful OP fractal footage.
Let's do it. Okay, so welcome to Optimism Fractal. You can check out optimismfractal.com to learn more. Optimism Fractal is a community dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creators, and optimizing governance on the Superchain. We host weekly events that everybody's welcome to join. We hope to see you here. It's a great place to network with talented builders, make friends, collaborate, learn, build together, and so forth. We play an amazing on-chain social game each week called the Respect Game, where basically participants, everybody who joins, gets a chance to share what they're doing to help Optimism, then collaborate to rank each other's contributions, and then we earn a soulbound token called Respect that has many amazing powers too, which you can learn more about here on the website, and you can watch and learn too, because you can both participate in the videos by joining the events, and you can also watch all the videos that we produce. We record to help promote public goods creators on the Superchain. And we're building with Respect too. So we are building open source software on the OP stack that allows anybody to play the Respect game and do really cool things with Respect too. Lots of resources you can learn more about here. It's a great place to develop your on-chain career and your business for building in public. We have a Notion site where you can get involved and learn more as well, although I recommend coming to the events is the best place, but lots of other ways you can contribute as well. And there's also lots of funding opportunities on the Superchain too, such as retro funding coming up soon, some exciting rounds, and it provides a powerful way to measure your impact in the collective as well. So you can learn more about all of these and how we're trailblazing the future of governance too, how we've been working on these processes for the past few years. Many people have contributed. We have a rich history you can learn about, and this has been culminating towards great processes like the Optimism Fractal Stages Council, where people can join the events and help lead the community, join the council with Respect, and vote on topics at the Optimism Town Hall, which is an event that we host and a show we host right after the Respect game each event. Optimism Fractal is nurtured by a community called Eden Fractal, where we've been pioneering these processes for the past couple of years, and everybody's welcome to join these events as well. We just had our first event of Epoch 2 of Eden Fractal yesterday, and it's a great place to get more involved in these fractal decision-making processes like the Respect game. And it's also founded by Optimistics, a team of builders working to grow optimism and empower millions of communities on Superchain. So you can learn more about those at optimistic.io, edenfractal.com, and you can find all this on optimismfractal.com, as well as the Superchain great entities that we're working with on Ethereum, like Optimism, Base, and many more building a Superchain. Everybody's welcome to join Thursdays at 17 UTC every week. And you can go to lou.mouse/optimistics to find the event calendar and register. We'd love to meet you, and we'd love to meet your friends too. So feel free to join and invite everybody who you think would be interested. And you can also check out the governance forum post too on gov.optimism.io too, where we post updates about what we're doing here each week. So I made an introductory post for Optimism Fractal Season 4 and shared a little bit about all these things that have been going on that I kind of mentioned here, but you can read there for more details. Rosemary also followed up with a post about season 4 too, with a wonderful image too. So welcome everybody to season 4. Really looking forward to setting this season with you, and of course I'll give that a heart. And then yeah, you can check out on Twitter too, Optimistics, Rosemary, myself. Abraham put out a really nice tweet saying it's his favorite group. He said he couldn't make it today, but he's building some great tools. So welcome everybody to join, and appreciate likes and retweets to help spread the word about Optimism Fractal and all the great things we're doing on Warpcast and so forth. And you can watch all the videos, as I mentioned, to optimismfractal.com/videos right in the top corner, where you can see all the videos along with timestamps and show notes for each one. So you could see all the great things we've been doing in the past season to help the Superchain and participate in Optimism Season 6 and On-Chain Summer and so forth. Videos of each event since the beginning that we launched in last October, as well as on the Eden Creators YouTube channel, where you can watch all these shows and much more too. So I encourage you to watch, learn, and join. I also had the pleasure to join the Optimism Collective YouTube channel today too, with Jay Rocky, who joined Optimism Fractal recently and gave a presentation on Optimism Fractal too. So really excited to collaborate more with people in the collective, and you can see an introduction to Optimism Fractal there. And then after the Reset game, we're going to be doing the Optimism Town Hall, which we do every Thursday at 18 UTC, where everybody's welcome to share their thoughts about optimism and vote on topics and post topics about the Superchain. For anybody who can stick around, also welcome to join either event. At this event, we play a game called Cagendas, where we vote on topics. And the topic that was proposed and voted with the most votes this week is called seasonal planning. So after the respect game, we can basically have a planning session about Optimism Fractal, what we've achieved so far, what we want to improve, share updates from over the break, discuss goals for season 4, and consider topics for future town hall events and so forth. So I'm really excited to discuss that with everybody, and looking forward to hearing your thoughts after the respect game. But yeah, first we'll play the respect game. You can learn more about this on the website, optimismfractal.com. There's a link there. It's a profoundly helpful consensus game that has so many benefits. But basically, I think everybody here is well familiar, but we're going to go up into groups of 3 to 6, and then everybody's going to get 4 minutes to share what they've been doing to help optimism. And then we're going to rank each other's contributions. And if we can reach consensus, then we'll receive respect. And whoever helps the most will receive the most respect, and so forth. There's videos where you can learn more about this. So that's it. Before the respect game too, here's a couple of things. You can find the game rules. Everybody knows that. I'm going to give everybody recording permissions too. So feel free if anybody wants to record the videos in the breakout room. We are publishing all the videos of the breakout room, and we're trying our best to do that. And feel free to also share your screen too, and share any links in the OptimismFractal Discord or the Notion site or Zoom chat, because we'd love to help promote your work and share what you're doing. So hope that everybody has an awesome time. And with that, I will start up the breakout room. If anybody wants to say anything while I'm doing that, then feel free to do so.
Actually, it's 6 of us now.
Oh, it is 6. Yeah, it looks like Will dropped out. Okay. So I guess we could just go. I don't know if Will's coming back. If I think he was intending to stay here. Maybe he had an internet issue. So I suppose we could just get started with the 6 of us. And then if Will comes back, we can go into 2 breakout rooms of 4 and 3 if he comes back soon. Does that sound good? Okay. Sounds good. So would anybody like to kick us off? If anybody would like to just say hello after the break and share any thoughts on your mind, any quick updates, then feel free. But being that we're playing the respect game, that's the perfect time to share what you've been doing over the break too. So if anybody wants to kick us off and go first in the respect game and share how you've been helping optimism. Usually we played over the past week, but we haven't met in the past 3 weeks because we had a 2-week break. So I think it's okay to just share what you've been up to for the past few weeks as well for today's event. So if you want to just share what you've been up to for the past few weeks to help optimism, then that would be much appreciated. And whoever wants to go first, the floor is open. Or if anyone wants to say hello or anything.
Yeah, hi everybody. And as usual, I think the work I've been doing is the least direct to the optimism. So I will go last.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Nuno. I'm looking forward to hearing what you share. Hey, Jason.
I was going to say something very similar, but I was going to offer to go first just because you could set the timer and then I could not use that much time to save more time for discussion afterwards and all that.
Okay, sounds good. We could do that, and feel free to use all the time too. I'm sure you're up to some very cool stuff, so interested to hear it.
Sure, yeah. I'll break the ice.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
The contribution to the industry and to the whole space that I regularly make is just through the education platform that I provide through CryptoOasis and through the onboarding effort and the continual effort towards adding health to good governance to drive value, make value adding part of the supply web. There are a lot of moving pieces to the equation, but every conversation is how it gets done, right? In our public life and in our private life. It's around the dinner table, and it's also like on stage or wherever in plain view, out on the sidewalks or on social media and stuff like that. So having that invitation that I provide for people, I actually missed this week because I was at a festival, and at that festival there were experiences, there were opportunities for I guess finding the best way forward from an unexpected difficulty, right? You get thrown a curveball by life. You get thrown a challenge that nobody expected, and that there were moments where we were thinking like, are we gonna just throw in the towel and not continue this event, this festival, this part of it and stuff? Or are we going to try to work with what we have? We're going to try to work with what we have and do the best with what we can without this one part that we needed that we were depending on. And there was a conflict and a conflict resolution that occurred, and that maintaining the optimistic viewpoint and as a way of life, as a modality to do that, to recognize where there's value is, I feel as though something rendered clear in my mind about what optimism is to me, and that recognizing what's valuable and finding a way to add value at all times takes whatever circumstances there are and works with it. You know, unexpected circumstances, more difficult or whatever, in the middle of a confrontation in some way, still adjust and work with it. So I guess that's part of what I will try to continue teaching at Cryptoasis. What people value has an expression for so many ways, but respect is among them. So it's very indirect. It's not for the DAO, for optimism.gov or anything like that. It's just governance, it's just practice. And I'll leave it at that. I'll save some time. I promised I would.
Well, thank you very much, Jason. Thanks for the update. I hope that you enjoyed the event and the time overall. The meetup you host, Cryptoasis, that's cryptoasis.net, I believe. That people can check out too and join. And yeah, that's very valuable to practice governance, and hopefully you'll bring those learnings more in the Optimism Collective as well. But really appreciate you sharing it with us here. And if you want to anything else in your own time, or if you want to pick somebody to go next, then you can do so whenever you're ready.
I'm looking for visual cues for who might be ready to and who might want to. I'm seeing a look on Vlad's face like he's intrigued, and Rosmari put her hand up too. So
yeah, I can go.
okay, nominate
Okay.
Vlad, please.
Cool.
Then can you let me share the screen?
Yep. Sorry, I just did it right now.
One sec.
Okay, take your time. Looking forward to it. I know you've been building.
Yeah. Today I started with the contracts, actual solidity.
The suspense is building.
What?
I said that the suspense is building.
Okay. Nah, I need to quit Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to quit
somebody...
and join back? And maybe I think Rosmari was willing to go. Maybe she'll go first, and then you join back after, or join back whenever you're ready. Yep. Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, Rosmari.
Yes.
There is a bit of background music right now.
Oh well.
One thing, so I don't know if it'll happen when you speak. If you wanted to, there is an audio setting. If you go to Zoom settings, then you can change the Zoom background
Is it too
noise
loud?
removal.
If it's too loud, okay.
No, well, maybe just try it and go ahead and speak, because I don't hear it all the time. I don't hear it when I speak, but I think maybe when it's silent, then you hear it, but not when you speak.
I'm gonna change the setting.
Okay, sounds good. And people keep hopping in and out here. I know Nuno, you were there, now you're back. Welcome back. And now we have Will back too, and here comes Vlad. So
I think it's okay. It is a tie, so I'm just gonna go.
Okay, sounds good. Welcome back, guys.
Okay. So I'll set the timer and share my screen.
Okay. I suppose one thing I can mention too, just maybe before you start, is so Will is
Right.
joining back. So should we should we do 2 breakout rooms now? Because we kind of started already. I don't know what the best protocol is to do. I guess
I'm fine without playing the respect game, but I can just present. Well, I can just present, and then I'm willing not to participate in the voting. It's okay. Because you already started presenting, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's best just to stick with it. And at some point we can put in some rules about when people have to be there to be playing or something like that. But sounds good. Welcome
It's
back,
okay.
Will. Thanks for joining again. And go ahead, Rosmari. I'm sorry for I'm sorry for interrupting you. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So set the timer. And okay, so throughout the break, I managed to catch up on uploading all the videos from Eden Fractal, which you can find at the Eden Creators YouTube main YouTube channels. And also I've uploaded all the latest Optimism Fractal events too, which you can check out again here. And then Dan will probably cover in his presentation. I also was there to support Dan during the Superchain demo day when he presented Optimism Fractal, and also I made a couple of tweets to also promote the event alongside that, which we can see here. And here's a kind of like a moment when Dan presented the Optimism Fractal event during the demo day with JRT. And then this is an example of the tweet I did. And also I did like a quick message here to invite everyone to the event, and kind of responded to the main promotional message that Dan did for this event. Same thing here. Now there's a new thread about the Optimism Fractal Season 4 where we'll post all the videos from each event and kind of have that for updates from the community. I also did the same kind of promo message for Twitter, for Telegram in the Eden Fractal Telegram channel. And then mainly I was working on making sure that the videos page is up to date. You know, we have all the videos there and titles and descriptions, and I was working on the show notes. Now there's show notes for each, and also a feedback section when there has been a feedback that was shared during each event. And you can see that this is an example for OF 35 and 36. And then mainly, I also joined the Eden Fractal event yesterday. That was really, really great. When we were brainstorming on the direction for this epoch 2 of Eden Fractal. I was also focusing on building the optimistic CRM for Optimism Fractal participants with different properties here. We're not gonna, I don't think we're gonna release this publicly because it's private information, and I'll blur this out for the video when I produce it, but it was something that I worked on during the break. What else I did was a lot of education on Web3, and I watched all of these videos here in case you don't know. Thanks to Dan that he let me know about this new channel, Optimistic Gathering, and many educational videos about the latest with Optimism, Ethereum, Mail2s, and much more. And I highly recommend you watching or listening to these too. I also listened to and watched Basecamp's the summit, and also the Vitalik Buterin's interview there. And I listened to a bunch of L2 related videos, like the state of Ethereum, L2s, the Ethereum L2 token thesis, and L2 tokens bullish or bearish, and also the DAC by Vitalik, that interview. So I'm actually over time, but I learned a lot. And now I'll pass it on to Vlad.
Yep, thanks. So, last week, my main focus has been working on a new application. The way it's related to Optimism is that most likely it's gonna be deployed to Optimism first. Right now, I'm thinking, should it be first base or Optimism? I'm a bit leaning more towards base because just the ecosystem seems larger there. But nevertheless, it will be on Optimism as well. So the point of the application is to enable communities to start a fractal, essentially. The thing that we are doing here. The only difference in terms of the process is that the app wouldn't have videos like we are having right now. Instead of that, it's gonna be purely text-based, which has like benefits and drawbacks compared to video. But yeah, we decided that text is something that we want to pursue. So I will just give a brief like overview of the wireframe. What functionalities are we planning to build? So firstly, there is just a landing page. The idea is to make it really simple to set up a fractal. So just 30 seconds, you're done. We plan to integrate Privy, so there is potential even to onboard communities or organizations that don't know anything about blockchain. We want to make it as simple as possible. So yeah, initially you just submit community name, description, logo, boom, you're done. Then each fractal would have their own like DAO page. Here you would just see the logo, name, description, and there would be a table containing all the members who have participated in the respect games. You will see some information about how many respect games there have been, how many members there are. And through this page, you will be able to navigate to submit contribution. So each fractal is at 3 different stages. It can be in idle stage, regular stage, when nothing is happening. Then second stage is when community members submit their contributions, and you can just very easily, well, it's gonna be a little bit different, that you would actually have to have the ability to prove your contribution as well, that you can add a link. But yeah, point is that you can submit your contribution. There will be 24-hour window to submit it. Then the next stage, the third stage, is when the community members start ranking each other. So that comes after the 24 hours of submitting the contributions. Then there's 24 hours of ranking, and ranking will be very simple. You just drag and drop. Below here you will actually see the contributions that each person has done, and then you just drag and drop the individuals as to who you think contributed the most and the least. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You will be able to invite members, and each member will have his own profile page. Well, there's also tokenomics, but maybe next time about that. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Vlad. Really excited for the app that you're developing, and Really great overview. One thing I want to add too, just to clarify, because in the beginning you said deciding between building on base and optimism. Yeah, Jason's putting hands up. Just to be clear, so optimism it started out as one L2 chain, the OP mainnet, but optimism is now the Superchain. So it's a collective of all the different communities and companies and chains that are part of optimism, of which base is part of optimism now too. So by building on a base, you are building on optimism. So either way, it's very helpful for the super chain for optimism. But yeah, really excited for the app. If you want to share anything else, Vlad, then feel free to add any last thoughts, or if you want to pick somebody to go next, then feel free to do whenever you're ready.
Jake, would you like to go?
Sure. Then while I'm getting set up, I'll just add a few things to your thing, Vlad. One, that's awesome that moving, I think that'll be really handy to get kind of this concept on a website in text-based form. I think that's gonna be super awesome once we get there. And like you said, and this will go into what I'm working on, so I can begin whenever.
Sounds good. Feel free to start whenever you're ready. I think Rosmari put the timer up.
Okay, so I've worked on a few things. This right here is a fork of the Scaffold ETH2 repo. Let me see if I can get the GitHub link. Maybe it's right here. Yeah. The GitHub link for this project, github.com/hotmanix/scaffold ETH2 wallet connect. So in the past week or so, the Wallet Connect team has put out a, I guess hackathon is what you would call it, maybe, or a bounty to integrate their newest app kit into your app. So I use Scaffold ETH2 for a lot of things as my basis points for building smart contracts and front ends. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and deployed a set of smart contracts on base, or this your contract smart contract. And using I replaced the Rainbow Kit wallet connect button functionality with the wallet connect functionality, which integrates account abstraction. So now, instead of being forced to use in-browser extensions, you can actually now continue with Google. It causes this pop-up. Successfully logged in. I already logged in before, but you would select your account. You can see here I'm connected. It shows I have 0 ETH, but I think I have such a small amount that it's just not showing it there. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, hey there, Optimism Fractal. We'll do like 100 we. And wallet not connected to the right network. Let's change to base real quick. There we go. And you just get this modal, approve. And there you go. It should be going through. 1 minute left. Okay, great. Yeah, we saw the smart contract upgraded. This is on base mainnet. That was using my email. That is not using MetaMask whatsoever. That's all purely without a wallet extension involved. So to help that on Web3 onboarding experience, I think that's really helpful, especially it's a bit buggy right now, but hopefully they can work through that. Okay, the other project that I've been working on is this wild water bottle cap token, which is meant to be a tokenized real world asset, which is meant to kind of test the boundaries and figure out what it means to be a tokenized real world asset. So literally what I do every month, I go down to my supermarket and I buy a 12-pack of sparkling water, and I have kept the caps just because. And so I said, hey, what a cool idea if we brought these bottle caps on chain in the form of a currency, and kind of experiment with tokenize real world assets. So this is the first mint. My friend framed this thing here. He's an artist, so he has had some bottle caps, sent them my way. And so I minted the tokens. It's 96 in that picture. That's my proof of reserve. And this is the transaction hash to go with everything. So this is a idea experiment to kind of figure out how we can start moving things on chain in that covers it anyway, so I can stop there. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Jake. Very, very exciting and great stuff. Thank you. You had a couple other tabs there. I don't know if you wanted to briefly mention those, then feel free as well. I see Will coming on, and we do have to. I also want to comment too. Welcome, Patrick. Thanks for joining. Patrick is a build during the Fractal ecosystem, and we had some. And welcome back, Will. We had some issues. Right now we have 8 people, which normally doesn't happen during their spec game. So we'll have to figure out exactly the best way to do it. As far as 8 people, I guess we'll just do one respect game. And Rosmari volunteered to not be ranked here, but we could just see how it goes basically and figure that out. But I just wanted to welcome and kind of just let everybody know about the situation that we have, and we'll try to get this figured out. We had people dropping in and out. Jake, if there's anything else you wanted to add, it was a pleasure hearing you speak at the Superchain demo day too. So thanks for doing that, and I recommend people to check it out. Anything else you want to add, then feel free, or if not, you can pick somebody to go next.
Sure. Yeah, those tabs were unrelated. So I'm nothing else to add aside from, yeah, also did the demo day for Optimism, and also the community meeting, whatever you call that, from yesterday in the Optimism Discord. Shared the project there a bit. And then coincidentally, I'm meeting all of you coincidentally all throughout the spaces everywhere. But Will from last night, with his Let's Grow initiative, I sat in that for a few hours and kind of just enjoyed it. So with that, I will pass it to Will, I guess.
Thanks so much, Jake. And it was such a joy and treat to see you last night. So that's good. Okay, so just to level set here, if I talk about KF Media, I'm talking about supporting optimism. If I'm talking about Let's Grow DAO, I'm talking about supporting optimism. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen and make sure I got the right screen here. Yep, you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay, so what Jake was talking about is this 24/7 effort that's going on right now with Let's Grow DAO. This is our 3rd season of this effort, Let's Grow Live. It is a 24/7 community effort broadcast that supports grantees and grantors alike as part of Gitcoin Grants 21, their 21st season of Gitcoin Grants. So yeah, been doing a lot of work in that on the season break for sure. My specific commitment, because I'm one of the 9 co-founders, the original co-founders of this effort, is to spend some time either in the back end of the broadcast studio to maintain continuity and consistency of the space, also enforce our code of conduct, and just make sure, you know, the space stays alive. So it's very good experience for anybody who wants to be a broadcast producer, and I'm going to at some point leverage that into a freelance or consulting position for broadcast production, especially when it comes to social audio content. Also, as part of Let's Grow Live, I believe, Dan, this happened on the break. We invited Dan in to one of the DAO core meetings to introduce Cagendas. So expanding this effort to other ones. I think based on Vlad's presentation, we're close to having some shippable products between the Respect game and the Cagendas. So that's really exciting to have that. And, you know, I'd like Let's Grow DAO to be considered as maybe, you know, a test case for either one of those. Additionally, the work we've been doing on our website, the Rosmari and kind of we're lightly talking about at the beginning of the hour. Our host has created this new page for us, right? So that people can come here, they can join our website, they can get updates, and they can, and there are some members only content and perks. There are pages on here that are gated more so than others, but a lot of it speaks to the various layers of our community. Our active mint right now, originally we just had these buttons here that were active that would go directly back to our developer page. I learned how to import the embed code from Third Web and apply it to our website. So now we've got this really clean interface here. We are minting on Optimism. We are minting on Base. We are minting on ARB. We are minting on Polygon, ZK Sync, and Luxo. So 3 of these 6 are directly building out our Superchain footprint. So I think that's pretty cool as well. Additionally, with our Learning Center, one thing that we did here is that we've categorized every guest educator. We like to call them regenucators. They have their own page now, right, of their own content. So everybody has their own page. As you can see, I've got one in here of a DeFi class that I hosted. I'm also starting to do some cooking classes. Oh, and I still got a minute left. Great. So we have art demos in here, right? Part of the art demo project, if you're able to get in here, so you have to have a passport. This is a gated ecosystem right now. Not always necessarily going to be the case. But like in here, we have using AI to define images. We have animation demonstrations. Right now, we're also doing character development for the regenucators as we build out that lore. So we've got a lot, we've been adding a lot of content in here, especially in our live learning session. For tomorrow's events, we do have part 3 of this live learning session. So this particular educator, their core curriculum is on emotional intelligence. And then we're just producing all the content, making sure it looks clean, and then everybody can earn the rewards against it. Back end real quick, while I still have 5 seconds, everything in here from a credential perspective is backed up by an Ethereum attestation.
Awesome. Thank you, Will. Very impressive presentation and great work. Well done. Would you like to pick somebody next to go next?
So was Vlad the first one?
Vlad went already. And
no, but I'm saying, was he the first one to go? Because I've only seen Vlad and Jake's presentations. I don't know who went before them.
No, Jason went first. Rosmari
Okay.
went before Vlad, and then Vlad went. So the people who haven't gone yet are Nuno and myself, and also Patrick joined, but he joined late. So I suppose maybe after everybody goes and we do the respecting consensus, then Patrick can introduce himself and share a bit what he's up to, maybe during the town hall. Feel free if you want to say a quick hello, Patrick. But I suppose we'll just do Nuno. If you want to go now,
Nuno?
then.
Okay, sure, I'll go. So the way my work relates to the optimism is that hold on, cannot reach out the bar here.
We were able to see your screen there. It looks a bit small maybe, but we were able to see it though.
Okay. So the way it relates to the Optimism Collective is that voting is actually an important aspect of optimism. And I wanted to show you where it happens. So give me a second. Okay. Can you see the Agora page?
Yes.
Okay, so this is where voting happens in the optimism. There is the voters. You can see, you can delegate votes. You can see who is allowed to vote. You can see the proposals, and you can vote. And I believe that one of the problems in Web3 is that there is a mistrust in voting solutions. People in general, they don't trust that voting online on the blockchain is as powerful as voting on paper in a national election. And the way I'm trying to battle this is by launching an hackathon. Actually, it's an attackathon, not an hackathon. And we want to challenge the scientific community. We want to challenge the universities to break the voting system. So whoever is able to manipulate 1% of the final tally, we will be giving a prize money. In this way, we will create awareness that there is this thing, which is online voting. Maybe we can launch a political party, you know, disrupt politics. Maybe we can, I don't know, there's so many things we can do with it, but we need to create awareness. People need to know it exists and it works. So the way I see this happening is through an attackathon, a hackathon. So whoever is able to censor the voting round can earn a premium. So this is what I've been working on. And eventually, a side event to this hackathon can be a buildathon, which is a regular hackathon where we ask people to build stuff. And there, I would like to invite, I don't know. So, for example, here you can see who can be interested in online voting solutions. Is it just DAOs? Of course not. Political parties can be interested. Cooperatives, corporations, I don't know, the sports clubs. There's so many use cases, but we are not seeing any of these today. It's rare. So we want to tackle this. And I wanted to show you a side event we can build. We can build a side event where we challenge people not to break the voting system, but to create something with the voting system. And that's where I want to invite, I don't know, I would like to invite Fractal Optimism with the tools that you're building, or the HATS protocol, and give every participant all the tools they need to actually create a DAO, to launch a DAO. So other than working on this hackathon, I've also been working on other infographics, small things like, for example, this. What kind of voting systems can you have? You have, most of Web3 today is using shareholder token voting, as you may be aware. You don't find any DAO which is using the one person, one vote model, the most democratic voting model. So I've been creating some infographics for my startup, of course, but it can also be useful for other people to, I don't know, there's weighted votes, there's board account, multiple choice voting, there's many types of voting systems.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Nuno. Great presentation, great work. Love to see it. One thing I mentioned though is Optimism. I don't know how much you looked into like the current governance structure of Optimism, the collective, but you showed the Agora site, which is where the delegates vote. There's a two house system, the token house and the citizens house, and token house works with voting per token, like you said, but the citizens house is one person, one vote. So that is something that's going on in Optimism that you might be quite interested in.
I didn't know.
And I do also want to bring to your attention too, Let's Grow DAO. We are a Moloch DAO. We use DAO House as our governance platform, and we are also a one person, one vote DAO as well.
Very cool. Thanks, Will. Okay, I guess I can go. If there's anything last you want to add there real quick, Nuno, feel free. Otherwise, I can go. Also, I'll note too, Fractal is rooted in true democracy, or I think a true democracy, the one person, one vote, being that it weights votes according to how much people are helping and so forth. But we can just discuss that more in detail in the future too. I'll go ahead and share my screen and share what I've been doing. Rosmari, you can put the timer up whenever. Thank you. And wonderful to hear from everybody. So thanks so much, everybody, for all the great contributions and things that you've been doing to help Optimism, as well as being here and all your support. This break, one of the things I worked on a lot was updating my personal website. It was kind of broken, and I put a lot of work into making it nice so I could give people a good overview of me, as well as put a lot of focus on Optimism Fractal, as well as the different teams that are building for Optimism Fractal and so forth. So a little overview where I introduce myself. I put Optimism Fractal right at the top with a little overview as well. Put Eden Fractal right under there and Optimism Town Hall right there, and then go into details about Fractal videos and why the communities are Fractal, and Fractal teams like Optimistics and Eden creators, and links to writing. I put Respect Game and Cagendas right near the top two with little overviews, and I had to make some new art and stuff like that to write this as well. Put together a bit of the grand vision and state of development implementation, inviting people to reach out, and then curating some past work as well. So that's one thing that just whenever I interact with people, I'll be promoting Optimism Fractal in a better way and putting up a better kind of impression. And I also did this similar thing for Optimistic's website. Right now, a lot of the websites fairly similar. I use some of the same wording, and over time I'll make it different, but updated the Optimistic site to make it look nicer, as well as provide a more current update of Optimism Fractal and all the different initiatives that we're doing here. So that's there. And then while I was doing that, I made a lot of updates to Optimistics blog as well. So previously this page was a little bit of a mess, but I fixed the pictures, and then I fixed lots of articles that were a little bit like kind of put out in a rush or outdated for whatever reason. So now you can see about 30 blog posts about fractal communities and their spec game and so forth. And they all have like pretty nice organization and stuff like that. You can go click into each of them and learn more. So kind of trying to put together like our websites in a nice looking way. Also made a little bit updates to the Optimism Fractal website. And one of the reasons why I've been doing that is because I've been applying for missions with Optimism Season 6. So I hear Patrick, you're making sound, so I'm going to meet you right there. So yeah, I've been applying for missions for Optimism Season 6. I made a few mission proposals or mission requests that got sponsored, and so I'm working on missions to apply for them now. The one that I worked on the most over the past few days was on-chain social games mission, and for this I wrote out a proposal that I actually missed the date by like they changed the date at the last minute, so I wasn't able to submit it, but I'm going to submit it next round. And this has details. Basically, this project aims to conduct research and design automated, decentralized, and compliant fund distribution for the respect game Optimism Fractal to allow people to get rewarded. And it's probably going to be using the OREC design that Tadas has built for a decentralized smart contract. And so there's a lot of details basically about Optimism Fractal and what it does. And part of the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm trying to convey to the leadership of the Optimism Collective why this should be like deeply integrated into the collective. I'd spoken with somebody from the Optimism Foundation and asked about whether the Optimism Collective can provide this service, and he said no, at least for now. So I'm basically making this proposal so we can raise. So one, I can start up some sort of organization or something like that and raise funding so we can distribute funding according to respect and allow the council and OREC board to make those decisions and actually provide funding for people who join Optimism Fractal events in a way that the community can decide. And then two, as a way to further convey to the Optimism Collective why this should be fully embraced by the collective as well and make those connections and so forth. So I also started making a mission proposal for producing videos too, to increase our capacity to produce videos and offer the opportunity to make video clips and produce Optimism Town Hall videos separately and stuff like that. So that's underway and in progress. And I've been working on a project for like a builder site where we can feature everybody's work. And I joined the Optimism office hours and spoke with J-Rock, who helped with that. And I'm following up with Gunna, who leads the Grants Council, to request more funding for all these. Before the break, I also worked on a governance channel too. And then you can always see my work in the Optimism Fractal Notion site. And then I did a bunch of promotional messages for Optimism Fractal on Twitter and the governance forum and so forth, which have already been shown. And I participated in the Superchain demo day. And then I also hosted and made the presentation for Eden Fractal Epoch 2 too. So that's that for now. Went a bit over, but thanks all for listening. And I suppose now, thank you. Rosmari, I don't know if you had a chance, or Vlad had a chance, anybody had a chance to make.
I started to.
Okay.
I started to, but I realized that it would put me in the room, in the group, and I should not be in there. So either you or Vlad or someone else has.
Okay. And you sure you don't want to participate in their spec game? I mean, that's very kind and graceful. Okay. Well, thank you for that, and I'll remember to give you more respect to make up for it in this week, and that will allow Will to participate as well in the respect game. So I'll start that up now. And then I'll have that up in a moment or so. If anybody wants to ask any questions or share any thoughts in the meantime, that especially ones that would be helpful for you to reach consensus about who should be level 6 or 5 and so forth, then feel free. Jason?
I'd like to offer to stand down out of the respect game because I feel as though Rosmari actually contributed directly to the project, whereas what I shared was indirect. And I know that some others will say the same, but I think it was nice of Rosmari to offer, but it's more appropriate that she is in this round. I mean, may I?
Well, that's very kind and graceful of you. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate the offer, and I suppose it's up to Rosmari. I'm happy either way. But I know Rosmari has helped a lot. She's done a lot. So maybe it makes sense. But it's up to you to figure out, I suppose, and appreciate both your grace.
It's one of those adjustments because we started the game and then there's supposed to be 6 of us, but now we have 7. So it was the first thing. It was the first thing that Rosmari memory serves. That, like, okay, let's keep it as one group, and all this not be in the voting for respect. And the thought just occurred now that after all that's been shared, that I should. So please do say so.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll take that.
Well, all right. Thanks, Jason.
you too.
And likewise, I'll remember that move too for future respect games too. That's as much appreciated. And although you weren't working directly on the OP mainnet, I know that a lot of stuff you're doing is very helpful for Optimism as well. So I appreciate you being kind, and looking forward to giving you more respect in future weeks as well.
I'm following up on all of your on these links, and you guys are all an inspiration. This is such excellent work. It's very motivating. So I'm most felt on my side. Just be present, just be a part of it.
Thank you so much, Jason. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I don't know, Rosmari, if you want to set up the factogram. I was doing it, but I have to
Just
log
did.
in too. Okay,
I
cool.
just did.
Thanks. Okay, sounds good. And yeah, if anybody has any questions or comments that would help you reach consensus, then feel free. I suppose Rosmari will share that link momentarily. I don't know who to vote for. It's tough. There's a lot of great contributions. We only do have, we'll probably go over a time bit. If anybody needs to go at the top of the hour, then feel free. I apologize for a bit of a lack of punctuality. It's been just a little bit these new technical issues. So we'll try to wrap it up quickly, and then we can get the town hall. But I'm also okay with if we want to have a bit more of a discussion, we can always play the respect game past the top of the hour and then do town hall afterwards. But if anybody does need to go, then we can also try to just rush it and reach consensus in the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to go soon. That's why I didn't nominate myself on the snapshot for the town hall council this week. That only impacts this week, but I do have to resume my broadcasting duties. So I'll pay attention to the TG chat and respond accordingly.
Okay, sounds good. Well, in that case, I suppose we should play the respect game really quickly so Will can voice his opinion on who should be the players, or what should be the rankings. And it looks like, we have 7 people in the group right now. So that doesn't work. Patrick, would you mind please leaving the Telegram group? The way Fractalgram works is that it doesn't work with over 6 people. And since I appreciate you being here, but since you won't be participating in this respect game, if you could please leave that group, then we'll be able to play respect game in the Fractalgram. And yeah, in the future, we'll make sure to improve and refine our processes to make sure that we won't have these issues. I think one thing that we should have is like a time on who can participate and when and stuff like that, have some sort of specific protocol. I see Nuno saying, guys, thanks for having me. I guess I need to drop out because his wallet is not set up. Oh boy. I guess we can just remember, man. Yeah, I thought you've done it before, but I guess you don't have it with you. Okay.
It's okay. You can share it after when we do the vote. After we do the
Okay,
vote.
cool.
Yeah, you could share it after. Okay, sounds good. That's right. We'll figure it out. Okay.
There's still 7 participants. That's why it's not letting me do the poll for the Optimism account.
Yes. I think I know, Rosmari, you just sent me that Patrick joined the chat, but Vlad didn't. But I do see Patrick is there.
Yes, Vlad is
And
there.
since Patrick isn't participating, I suppose, I don't know if Patrick can hear us right now. If you can hear us, Patrick, then if you could please, I see Vlad, Patrick just left. Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, there's actually an option to delete a member from the.
If you're the host.
I
Okay.
did it. I don't
Okay,
know.
cool. Makes sense. And now we can go ahead and do it. I suppose, Will, if you have to go in the next 2 minutes, and I don't know if we'll be able to reach consensus, maybe if you want to just write in the chat who you think should be level 1 through 6 as a way to be more time efficient.
I can respond to the chat. I just have to launch a remote desktop connection.
Okay.
And it's going to take away my audio from here.
Okay, that works. Well, thanks again, Will, for all the great work, and looking forward to seeing your votes and stuff in the Fractalgram. And everybody can now enter their Optimism account as a response, so please do so. This has been a fun event. Yeah, juggling, right?
Somebody cue the circus music.
Yeah. I think just having like a time on when the game starts would be helpful, like a end time on when you have to be there in order to be included or something. That would probably fix a lot of the confusion. But it's a work in progress, so appreciate everybody's understanding and patience while we do this, and everybody's help. So far we have
Absolutely.
4 accounts. We haven't yet seen the account. Well, Nuno isn't responding here, and then we have Nuno putting up a smiley face, and then we're missing one person's account.
I'm working on it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Jake.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll hang out for a bit while the process is unfolding, while you go through the respect game and on to the next thing after.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Jason. Jacob, yep, Rosmari just asked if you could do it as a response to the pin message. That's the way the Fractogram needs to work. Until perhaps Vlad's app is ready, which seems like it might be ready soon, then okay, and so who should be ranked as level 6? Who you think did the most to help Optimism over the past summer break, basically?
Doing a drum roll.
Drum roll, please. There we go. Jason is supporting the crew. He may not be playing the respect game this week, but he is providing sound effects. Okay, thank you. We have not consensus yet. So we have 1 vote for Vlad, 1 vote for Jacob, 1 vote for Will, and 3 votes for me. Thank you for the votes.
You just won.
Oh, I just won? Somebody's changed? Okay. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Much respect. And I suppose we can move on. I can accept that. Thank you. And now who should be level 5? Who deserves the second most respect? And we do not have consensus, of course. Right now we have 2 votes for Vlad, 1 vote for Jacob, 1 vote for Will, and 2 votes for Rosmari. Would anybody like, now we have 3 votes for Vlad. Would anybody like
4?
4 votes for Vlad? Okay, we got Vlad at level 5. Woo! All right, thanks, Vlad.
That user interface is a very important thing. True. In terms of onboarding, I think that Jake made a pretty good case for onboarding as well, with one less step with an email address that almost everyone already has. But excellent direction.
By the way, do you see 5 out of 6 for Vlad?
I see 4 out of 6, which is good enough.
Yes, correct.
Okay, good. Rosmi's going through some things right now. And we can go to level 4, who helped Optimism the third most, based on the presentations that you saw. These are very difficult to do, as I said before, especially because we don't have too much time to talk about it, I suppose. And we have 5 votes in. We have 5 votes in, 2 votes for Jacob, 1 for Will, and 2 for Rosmari. And it looks like we haven't had a vote from Will yet. Would anybody like to share their... Oh, it looks like people moved over to Jacob, so Jacob got level 4. Pretty quick consensus. Thanks, Jake.
You guys.
And level 3, moving the hands up, having fun here. Okay.
Well, you gotta stay moving, man. I'm standing now.
Yes. Okay. level 3. We have 3 votes for Will and 2 for Rosmari. Okay, and looks like we have consensus for Will.
Congratulations to Will. He dropped off the call. He's broadcasting a different call.
Yep.
Now check the video for the retrospective. Congratulations to Will. Well deserved, I'm sure.
Talk about people juggling things here. Okay, who's ranked as level 2? Nuno or Rosmari? Okay, and we have consensus for Rosmari for level 2. Also, much appreciation, Nuno. Thanks so much for sharing the screen, and very excited to collaborate with you too on the initiative you're doing, the attackathon and so forth. It sounds fascinating. So this was really tough, obviously, because everybody gave really great presentations and is doing really phenomenal work. So much appreciated. And now Rosmari just put out the prompt, the results. So if everybody can please, I see Vlad getting a fire. If everybody can please submit the results within the next hour, then that would be appreciated. And then we can start up the town hall whenever we're ready. If anybody has any last thoughts you want to share to conclude the respect game, then feel free to do so. If not,
amazing, guys. It also feels okay to be lost because even though I'm lost, I still get some respect. So that's cool.
That's true. That's very true, and that respect means a lot. And also really appreciate you joining Eden Fractal too. I don't know if you mentioned that, but really appreciated that. And so I've got very much respect for you, Nuno, and I'm very excited to do all the great collaborations we'll do together.
It's true. As I was wrapping up, I was like, wow, between 2 and 1, these are like major contributions. That disruption potential to run a test like the attackathon, that's so innovative. I was like, oh, you guys are great. Truly.
Yep, I agree. And that's one of the great things about doing this every week, because we can remember the past results and so forth. So, and respect can build up that way. And so please go remember that for the future, and everybody else can as well.
Well, there's that experiment. What's it called? There's a prize out there for $1 million cash if you can fool a magician, right? If you can pull a magic trick, there's a magician who has this existing prize to say there's no such thing as real magic, it's all science. And so it's interesting because it gets challenged. Magicians come along and they perform their tricks, and it's an open challenge. It's like an attackathon for the magic industry.
Actually,
we could use that.
In the cybersecurity community, there are prizes for whoever breaks encryption algorithms. It's a common thing to do, and I thought that the best way to popularize online voting is to do the same thing.
Give people a reason to believe that this is a system that has the amount of resilience needed in reality, and it works in terms of the like what it I guess provides in terms of all the characteristics needed. Like it has certainty, but also anonymity to it.
Yeah,
sorry,
exactly.
I'm excited by the prospect, by the possibility of seeing it coming for a while.
Very cool. I agree. I suppose I can get started with the town hall. I can give it like a really quick presentation to open it up, because I want to make sure we have more time to talk and stuff like that. If anybody had any last thoughts you want to share before I do that, then feel free. But otherwise, I'll just give a quick presentation, and we'll have more time to have kind of open discussion about the respect game, as well as planning for Optimism Fractal Season 4. And thanks everybody so much for the amazing respect game and all the great contributions, great conversations. It's very exciting and much appreciated. We're just putting up the rockets. Okay, cool. So welcome to the town hall. Welcome everybody to the Optimism Town Hall. As of course my screen is messing up a little bit, but I think we're good. Welcome everybody to the Optimism Town Hall. We're here. We just had an excellent respect game. Thanks everybody so much once again. We'll be having, this is scheduled for until 18:30 UTC, but we could maybe go 10 minutes later because we had a bit of technical issues during the respect game. But if anybody needs to drop at any point, then feel free to do so as well. Thanks everybody for being here and joining the respect game. You can join both the events, the Optimism Fractal and the Town Hall, on the Lou.Monsters Optimistic calendar and learn more about Optimism Fractal, the community that is meeting for the respect game, and where we play the respect game right before the Optimism Town Hall at optimismfractal.com. It's a community dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creators, and optimizing governance and Superchain. Everybody's welcome to join the events and play the respect game, build with the tools, and watch the videos and so forth. Everybody here knows that, so I'll just go pretty quickly, but encourage everybody to join, watch the videos, and share with friends and so forth. Lately, we've been publishing our videos for the Optimism Town Hall as part of the Optimism Fractal videos on optimismfractal.com/videos. We're aiming to publish them separately, but right now you can find all the Optimism Town Hall videos that we discussed over the past seasons by exploring the last half hour or so of the recent videos. So you can see where we discussed preparing for season 4 and helping the Superchain and all sorts of stuff like that. And everybody's welcome to join and propose topics and watch the videos as well. So there's some promotional messages and stuff like that. And yeah, basically what we're going to do today, at each town hall, we play a little game we call Cagendas. It's a collaborative agenda setting game that enables anybody to propose topics, discuss, and vote on topics with on-chain reputation tokens. Particularly right now, we use the respect token that we earn at the Optimism Fractal weekly events by playing the respect game. So people can learn more about that in the articles. And the way it works is that anybody who has earned respect can just propose a topic on the Optimism Fractal, on the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space, and whichever topic gets the most votes on Monday at 17 UTC will be the topic that we discuss. And then also just in general an open community forum, so feel free. We'll try to stick to the topic, but if you have any thoughts that you want to share, feel free to raise your hand or unmute or share any thoughts in the chat as well. And looking forward to hearing your thoughts. It's meant to provide a platform for everybody. The topics for today is Optimism Fractal season planning. For some reason my face is showing up over there, but yes, seasonal planning, because this is our first event of season 4. Basically I suggested that we can reflect on what we've done so far in the first few seasons, share updates from over the break, discuss goals for season 4, and consider future topics, things we might want to discuss. In this season in particular, I think Optimism Fractal is very well positioned to make significant strides in achieving our core intents and integrate more deeply with the collective. And I think that the collective as a whole is very well positioned to really grow and bring the world on chain and create immense benefits for everybody. So appreciate everybody's input and thoughts as we are nearing a lot of new opportunities. Curious to hear your thoughts. If you want, you can review some of our progress from last season and a thread from last season and some videos, as well as see some of the stuff we're doing in the Optimism Governance Forum too. So we had a lot of progress in last season. So thanks everybody so much for participating and helping out and making it so special. You can see some of the videos and things we discussed and so forth, lots of amazing things. So really appreciate it and really excited to embark on season 4 with you. I have a little Notion project here in the Optimism Fractal Notion page for planning for Optimism Fractal season 4. We've already done a little bit of this. For example, we discussed in our 34th episode preparing for season 4, but that was about a month and a half ago now. So curious everybody's thoughts. Also, if you want, you can see how we adopted a seasonal structure for Optimism Fractal back in our 23rd episode. A couple of other episodes too, where we talked about seasons and how these can be helpful for Optimism Fractal. So they provide an opportunity for us to plan out our next steps and make progress and so forth in a new way, try new experiments. So very curious to hear everybody's thoughts about what we should do for Optimism Fractal season 4, what we should focus on and so forth. I have some ideas too. And yeah, that's basically it for my presentation. So kind of open discussion. If anybody has any thoughts you want to share, any questions about Optimism Fractal season 4 and what we should aim to achieve, then feel free. I'm also happy to share a bit of my vision too at some point if you'd like to hear. But yeah, floor is open basically for anybody to share any thoughts.
Well, I guess I don't have any thoughts. I just have questions. I mean, I'd like to feel more of your thoughts because you have the bigger picture in mind. You can see where the moving parts are and what needs attention. my first thought is please continue.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm happy to. Thank you, Jason. If anyone else wants to jump in with some thoughts or anything else first, then feel free as well. I know I was speaking kind of a lot there, so I want to give everybody a chance to speak and share their thoughts. But otherwise, I can go ahead and share some of my vision as Jason suggests, and then we could always hear everybody's response afterwards. See where's in the heart. Okay, I suppose I'll go ahead. Nice to see you, Rosmari. So, yeah, basically, I haven't like prepared a speech or anything like that, but I've been thinking about it a lot, so I can kind of speak off the cuff, and then feel free to jump in with any thoughts or different questions to help guide it or anything like that. But basically, well, we made a lot of progress, and like we bootstrapped the community and bootstrapped this process, and so yeah, we've already kind of talked about summarizing what we've done in the past season. So I think that we've made a lot of great accomplishments to get us to where we are. We've made a huge amount of progress and really appreciate it, as I said. And now it's like the question is what to do in this season and what should we plan out and what do we aim to accomplish and so forth. So during the respect game, Vlad shared that he's building a app to make it much easier to play the respect game. Also, Abraham, he said he couldn't make it today, but he shared an update saying that he made a lot of progress on the app he's building too. At some point, I should get them in touch too, so they can perhaps build together something like that. Tadas is also making a lot of progress on the Fraps software package, which will make it easy for anybody to build apps and build a lot of infrastructure for respect as well. So on a technical level, we're making a lot of progress. Several other developers and technically oriented people, like for example Hadlan and Bitbeckers, they made a proposal for building an app, and I saw Hadlan gave a great presentation just yesterday where he talked about Optimism Fractal and the respect game and integrating it. And also Jake has been working on a lot of really exciting tools that we're thinking of integrating with Hats Protocol and Rose Reputations as well. So we're making a lot of technical development, whereas the past few seasons have been like a little bit trying to just, as we saw in the respect game, a little bit like some technical issues that we're working to resolve, because the goal is really to implement and help people implement the respect game like throughout society and their communities and their organizations. And I believe it will create profound benefits for the Optimism Collective, the Superchain, and the world as a whole, and really help bring people on chain and help people connect and get all the other benefits of being on chain. So having those technical developments will be a pretty key part of that. We also have like the Notion site and the website and the blog site. All these things have come like a huge way since the start, and so now a lot more things are in place for people to get involved, both on a technical level and on like an educational level, and being able to implement the tools. Like for example, I know Nuno said that at Eden Fractal yesterday he really wants the respect game, and he's looking forward to using it with his communities and with the things that you shared today during Respect Game. Several other people have done so as well. Like for example, Zal has started the Zal Fractal, and he's done I think 13 meetings now. So he's using Fractogram and stuff like that, which is great. He's doing that with the community musicians, and from what I hear, it's going quite well. I've met some of the community members, and they're super cool. So it's possible to play the Respect Game right now, but it's a little bit difficult. So by having the tools to make it really easy to play, that will make it much more powerful for others to play, because a lot of people have expressed interest but haven't yet started using it for that reason, because it's a little bit difficult. So by having those tools ready in place, that will be powerful. And then also the decentralized smart contract execution, or I should call it optimistic respect-based executive contract that the DOS is building. I'm really excited about that, because that'll allow communities to basically collectively manage an EVM account, and then vote on decisions. So I think that'd be really powerful to be able to make on-chain executions of actions and stuff like that based upon how much respect people have. And we also have the council process and stuff. So a lot of the processes are coming together to allow communities to actually not just foster collaborations and make friends and promote their work. Like these are all wonderful benefits that are happening in Optimism Fractal already, but also optimize governance as well in a more like on-chain way that could be really valuable for a lot of people to have the benefits of on-chain with all the benefits of the things that we're doing here in Optimism Fractal. So between those technical developments, we're making a lot of progress on like reaching out to people, being able to promote the events better, making great videos and educational resources that we've been building up over the past almost a year now. It's been about 10 months since Optimism Fractal launched. We've been making connections with people in the Optimism Collective in general, and I also talked a lot about the missions at the end of last season, and I have finished one mission proposal basically, and working on several others. So my goal basically, one of my goals is to work on integrating the Respect game Optimism Fractal like into the fabric of the Optimism Collective. So because Optimism Collective is looking for this kind of thing, they put out lots of blog posts about their path to open meta governance and optimizing their governance, and they're looking for ways to foster collaborations and to improve retro PGF. We're super aligned with Optimism Collective with their vision of impact equals profit and retro funding and everything like that. And we have really great tools and mechanisms and processes and community members to help the Optimism Collective as much as possible. And by doing so, I think it'll help reward everybody with their impact equals profit and retro funding. Everybody who participates in Optimism Fractal and can contribute and help the collective with various things that they're doing to help Optimism Fractal and the collective, like implementing the Respect game in their own community, building tools, helping to promote it, helping to share with friends and so forth. I think these will all be like super valuable, basically. So I know I've been talking a lot. And it's kind of difficult to summarize because there's so much going on. But I suppose like we want to really take it to the next level, and it's been so wonderful collaborating with everybody. And we have like a relatively small and like nice community here. But you know, fractals are meant to grow to thousands of people, and we're meant to, like, the idea is to have thousands of fractals. Like anybody could start this, and then you could have a group with many breakout rooms, and people collaborating on a huge scale that's like never happened before in history of civilization. So don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but like there's that potential. We have a lot of the foundations laid. We have amazing people in the community doing wonderful work. So it's been a huge pleasure collaborating. I'm really excited to hear everybody else's vision about how you see Optimism Fractal growing, or how Optimism Fractal can help you, or how the Respect team can help you, and so forth. And we'll have lots of time to discuss it in now and in future town halls and so forth. But yeah, I guess that's kind of like a summary, basically. So planning, I don't know exactly what the next episodes will be. I know, for example, Vlad wanted to do, I think he was interested at least in doing like a town hall episode of the tools, maybe do a town hall episode about tools that Abraham and Tadas are building, or maybe Nuno or Jason, if you want to propose a town hall topic, or Jacob for anything else that you're working on, if it relates to Optimism Fractal, or anybody else who's watching, of course, Rosmari. That's what the town hall is there for, to basically make a way that people can propose and vote on topics and discuss what the community wants. So I am planning to propose stuff along the way about different initiatives we could do to more deeply integrate the collective and help collaborate and give updates and so forth. But I don't have like a comprehensive plan. But right now I'm working a lot on the missions, and then building those relationships basically with the collective, as well as just doing as much as I can to help everybody here. And then also there's been a lot of people reaching out to me too, like that I've been trying to respond to and keep up with. So a lot of people are expressing interest in finding out more about Optimism Fractal now too. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to rally the community, grow the community, and like supercharge our growth in a way to make all these things happen. And there's so much potential that we could achieve together. So be working to basically actualize the potential and figure out the plans along the way. Thanks. Jason, if you want to go ahead. Sorry if I spoke too much there. Thanks, Mr. Optimistic.
No, that was perfect. I think there was a lot to take away in terms of interpreting what you're saying with that. Main one being you want to like proliferate the idea and the method, and make good governance and better governance just a very common practice, sort of to raise the bar, raise the standard around that, and provide that utility for groups that can use it, and at the same time, like, to make a real endeavor of it, right? To work this into markets, to real uses, to represent the value that it is within that, what the Respect token means, and how the Respect token translates into a reward, right, in a tangible way, and why people want it. And I think that the thought that occurred, there were two. The first was around social contract. An example came to mind of a group called the Rainforest, whose mission is, as a nonprofit, to diversify the economy, to provide resilience, to provide opportunities, right? It's an entrepreneurship sort of, I'll call it, network, and there are all kinds of possibilities with it, but they operate on a premise of trust and good faith, and they use a social contract instead of like NDA, for example. And terminology within a social contract, I think within Eden, that was kind of the idea. Provide some clarity as to what respect means. Provide some clarity as to what retro PGF is for, what it's aimed towards, and what our directions are. And so, just as one item, first thought, social contract development, just for clarity's sake. And then I think that there's a definition of optimism. To optimize could be upcycling. I think that a respect game that has a basis in upcycling items, there could be a question around a social contract of, did you optimize that item for a utility? If you have a bottle cap, for example, are you just going to melt it and recycle that? Or are you going to use that bottle cap for something interesting? Who knows what? Who knows what? Be creative, right? It could be art, or it could be a utility.
Awesome. We'll see. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that's a good question. Who knows?
I've used bottle caps in ways that are useful, even though they're considered like single use.
All right. Well,
or I guess it encourages the game. If the game is for like imagination space, for it's a free use, for we sort of make a template for any group to amongst themselves have this discussion about their upcycling project for the week. Once per week, try one upcycling project, and you vote amongst yourself who optimized the waste product to the best upcycling endpoint. How a social contract about adding value and having good governance around it introduces the whole method, and it allows people to sort of dabble with the keys and the utilities that are created for it.
Okay, very interesting thoughts. Thank you, Jason. Much appreciated. I could comment on that, but also I know at some point Jake was unmuted. So Jake, if you want to share any more thoughts, then feel free to jump in. And also, we only have 3 minutes left scheduled. So I'm happy to go. I suppose it might make sense to go like maybe 10 minutes after the scheduled time if people want, because we started late. And I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to speak and share some of their thoughts for planning Optimism Fractal. So if there's anything else you want to add, then feel free. But yeah, if anybody needs to go in the next couple of minutes and wants to speak first before you need to go, then feel free. Or yeah, Rosmari, Nuno, Jake, if you have any thoughts that have been inspired or thoughts about what we should plan to do in Optimism Fractal Season 4, how we can help you in Optimism Fractal Season 4. I see Rosmari said she's going to go sooner, I think. So yeah, maybe if you want to go ahead first, Rosmari, and share a little bit about your plans before you leave, then feel free. And no need, of course, to if you don't want to, if you want to just listen in and take it in. But yeah, very curious to hear if you have any thoughts, or same for Nuno and Jake as well.
Yeah, I have some thoughts from Jason's speech. For example, maybe having a question or like something to keep in mind when we do everything about, let's say, daily tasks or whatever we want to, however we want to improve the process or how we contribute. If we have maybe a question to focus around, and let's say if we I don't know, just try to improve things as we go for each task, then or just keep adding on to our goals or kind of direction for Optimism Fractal as a whole, then that might be beneficial. Because right now, even the question that we ask, like, what do you do to contribute to help optimism? I don't know, if maybe we can somehow expand on that. That can maybe have like a more of like a, I don't know, an effect of multiplying our efforts, or be kind of like motivational way to go about each contribution. So that was something that I thought about. and also the utility, let's say a token of respect. That's like super important, or anything really. And then in general, I was thinking about Eden Fractal, and the event that happened yesterday, and how kind of it differed from today's event, and the kind of the cadence of it, whether something like we have to adjust the cadence of Eden Fractal based on how Optimism Fractal is moving, and just so we don't have like kind of an overlap. And then I was also thinking Eden Fractal has helped to, be the kind of the road to Optimism Fractal. And now that Optimism Fractal is kind of like moving at a much faster rate compared to Eden Fractal right now, it kind of makes sense to kind of focus more on it. Because of course, if you're focused on one thing rather than 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 10, whatever, you obviously can, just be more focused on that one thing, and like everyone knows, I think you do like better that way, in a way, or not better, but like faster. You'll move kind of faster. So, and I think Optimism Fractal is like, it has huge potential. So I was just thinking about that too. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you, Rosmari. Great points. I agree. Was that Nuno?
Before Rosmari leaves, Rosmari, maybe a better question could be, what have you done to be more optimistic? Simple, just what have you? I think it's the right question. I disagree. This is the right question to ask. What have you done to help optimism? But maybe you can rephrase the question in another way that sounds easier. That makes like, what have you done to be more optimistic?
Interesting.
Yeah, or have maybe a section of like a few example. Maybe if we add a few example mini questions for whoever hasn't, let's say for whoever is on their way still to optimism, but they're super interested, let's say, and maybe we can have like a different variations of ways to help optimism, and maybe expand on that kind of to make it easier for maybe for people who are on their way, or yeah, but maybe this is like I don't know how much of a priority this is.
Okay. I'll note too, by the way, in the 34th episode, we talked a little bit about like setting specific goals, so we could have like specific goals along with it too. That's something. But I see Jason's unmuted, so if you want to respond there, Jason, then feel free to go ahead. Also, one thing I want to mention too, I'm happy to stick around until the top of the hour if people do want to talk for longer. I know Rosmari said she's going to go. And I said maybe 10 minutes longer, but we just want to put that out there too. I want to give everybody time to, have more detailed discussions, or we can wrap it up whenever everybody's ready to. I just wanted that out there too. Jason, you want to say something?
Yeah, I feel as though I took up too much time. I didn't realize that we're on just half an hour. And I think that expanding the realm of ideas, that types of questions that get asked, right? There's a form consensus around is really part of it. That's all I was sharing. I think there are just so many, like an unthinkable number of possible good questions that groups could form consensus around. And yeah, they're out there for us, right? So being imaginative about what they are. Sorry, I wanted to hear from everybody. That's all.
Okay, well, sounds good. Thanks, Jason, and good points. I see Nuno just wrote a message there too. Do you want to say that out loud, Nuno?
I was just thinking on what Rosmari said, and I was just, when you ask what have you done to help optimism, your focus is on the collective, and it puts some weight on your shoulders. What have you done to help? I agree, Rosmari. Maybe we need to rethink about it. But if you just say, what have you done to be more optimistic? What have you done to be more? It's the same question, just framed in a way that it's just more fun. It makes it more fun.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Good point.
but maybe the underlying aspect of how this question could be paraphrased per person could be is obviously different, and by like providing examples on maybe what Optimism Fractal is maybe most interested in as an interpretation of that question, and kind of having some guidance there. Maybe that ways, maybe that aspect could be improved. Yeah, so that there's like less weight, as you say.
I feel as though that's a question that millions of people can answer. It's a plain question for everybody instead of a question that's for the developers. If that's a part of the goal is to create the network effect, almost like a social media of user-generated content, where you want to onboard, create the network effect of endpoints, of people who have the keys and use the app and are present, generating content. Everybody contributes little bits, but that's a question you can ask everybody, right? Or there are other questions you can ask everybody. And we know there are only going to be a handful of people who are contributing to the programming of how did you contribute to optimism, the DAO, right? Whereas everybody in the world can answer the question, what have you done to become more optimistic? And you share ideas. But, well, I got a fish. I got a pet fish. It made me feel great.
I think at the same time, it's good. I see the point, and it's very interesting. Like we also want to, like, if everybody's coming and talking about their fishes, then I don't know how productive it would be too. So I see Jake unmuted. Maybe you can be optimistic about the bottle caps. Do you want to go ahead, Jake?
I've got a few thoughts around what y'all are talking about. I'll tackle Amir first. Amir, I think that's a step in the right direction. I would just change optimistic to the proper spelling because it kind of puts an emphasis on optimistics themselves, and it's like, what have you done to help them out? And from my understanding, it's supposed to be for optimism as a whole, right?
Yep, that's right.
So yeah, I don't know, maybe if that's the route to go down, kind of maybe just make it clear that it's for optimism as a whole. And then what Jason was talking about, it's kind of cool because we could even expand, like if different weeks could be a different question. One week could be, what are you optimistic about this week? Next week could be, what are you, I don't know, what are you anticipating for in the future, right? Something that based on the week or the question, the same person would have a different but awesome answer to, right? So I don't know, it would just allow people's minds to expand a bit more and think in different ways. So maybe that's just an avenue to explore as well.
Yeah, or syncing up with, let's say, optimism and the rounds or initiatives they're doing, or base, and or kind of what's happening within the Superchain and kind of different initiatives that are ongoing. Maybe we can kind of adjust our question or kind of have like just be more fluid in that way, and kind of more interact with Superchain and yeah, and kind of tap into their, I guess, where their energy is flowing.
Hey,
Okay.
go ahead. No, you go ahead first.
I guess we do want to be kind of careful in how we expand in regards to that, because I guess it's the whole fractal idea, right? We're the Optimism Fractal. So it would be on somebody else to make the base fractal. I mean, I guess it could be, but it shouldn't be like the same organization. Like optimistics shouldn't be running the based fractal version of this. I guess unless they wanted to, right? And they have the capacity to run it, but I think it would be like a separate entity, a separate Zoom meeting, etc. Does that make sense? That's how I would imagine it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I suppose I'll go ahead. I'll look curious, Rosmi, if you want to respond to that. A couple
There you
thoughts.
go.
So, okay, cool. So yeah, I agree. There's a lot of great thoughts here. So Optimism Fractal, I think it's a unique situation because, like I mentioned to Vlad earlier, Optimism is a super chain. So basically, you could also think of us as a super chain fractal in a way too. So we can, everybody who contributes to base is welcome to join here and get a lot of respect by building awesome things on base too. At some point, I think it would be great to also maybe have like a base fractal in addition to like a Optimism Fractal or Superchain Fractal, and people can just go to both. They can go to 2 events per week instead of 1, especially as like you can imagine. I think that base is aiming to bring billions of people on chain and have many thousands and millions of builders. So having more events throughout the week where people can more specifically focus on base and more broadly focus on Superchain, I think that would be very valuable to have that. And that also kind of goes a little bit to the idea about having different like prompts or different questions. So I really like what do you do to help optimism because it's simple and it's gotten us where we are and people can kind of get in the rhythm and it's not like confusing people about what I have to do this week and so forth. But I also see the potential to improve it and vary it. I think that Jake's suggestion that we could use our governance process, like the council, for example, could pass a proposal to say, hey, for this week, let's change up what the question we're asking is. And to Rosemary's suggestion about more like collaborating closely and going along with what like the collective is looking for, what the Superchain is looking for. A month or two ago, we mentioned that we had a conversation with Amanda, who's the head of marketing at Optimism, and she expressed interest in like collaborating and doing it more closely with like kind of aligning OptimismFractal's initiatives with the retro funding and broader collective goals too. So that's something we definitely want to do. And one, we could do that at the town hall too. So town hall, we can do different kinds of games or different kind of things that align with the collective, but we could also do that at the respect game too, and change things that would be more helpful for the collective. And I think that's a good idea to explore for sure. Another thought is I like the term grow optimism because it's kind of more fractal in a way too. So that's another way that could be kind of more personal. This is kind of like just a thought that goes back to where we were before, but with regards to like being more optimistic, there's a balance between like attracting the optimism collective and like the builders and people who already know about optimism, and they might be a little bit turned off if they're just like be more optimistic because they're like, well, they're helping optimism, as opposed to onboarding like new people who don't know about optimism yet and being careful not to put too much pressure on them. And maybe I feel like in a lot of ways, regardless what the prompt is and the question is, we can just be welcoming and just make it clear that, hey, even if you're new to optimism and you haven't helped them much, you're very, very welcome to join. And just joining the events is a great way to learn and is helping optimism in itself because it's supporting the community and learning and so forth. But then there's the potential, like maybe the word grow optimism is kind of more general. It can be interpreted both as grow the optimism collective and the network, as well as growing optimism in general. What have you done to like kind of spread and grow optimism? So that's an idea and a suggestion. So
maybe having a page about examples of how you can help optimism. Maybe that could be helpful for someone that is wondering, what do they mean? Or let's say I'm not there yet, but I would like to join, but maybe I'm not sure because I've not started to help optimism yet. And so I have that idea from this conversation.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. We have like a very short description on the Reset Game page, like for example, creating content or inviting friends or building tools, I think is what we say. But yeah, it'd be great to have a page dedicated to that, and then we could make it clear, like just learning about it, like you shared during your Respect game, how you listen to a bunch of videos. That's like a really big contribution because you're investing your time and energy into learning about optimism, or just like joining the event, checking out their website. Like all these things are like we want to make optimism a very welcoming place for people to join in, particularly Optimism Fractal. So I think that having that page would be really helpful, and that also kind of goes back to like the broader vision and plan too. It's like there's so many things we could do. I've made like thousands of tasks in the Optimism Fractal Notion site. I don't know about thousands, but maybe like 1,000 or 2,000, like a lot. And like basically, if we can rally more people to contribute to making pages like this, and if anybody who's here or is watching wants to contribute in that way, or in however you're inspired, then that's much appreciated and will help grow. Because right now there's just only we want to speed up and grow, but we have to organize our priorities and pick what to do best with a relatively small team and so forth. So, but I think that's pretty high priority though, to make it clear exactly how people can contribute. So I really like that. And also, I'm speaking a lot again, so curious, Rosmari, if you want to add to that, or Jake, if you
okay.
want to add, or Nuno or Jason, feel free. Go ahead.
I'm going to go soon, I think.
Okay. Well, thanks for sticking around a bit longer. Really appreciate you sharing more of your thoughts. And
I think that it's very clear that we want to focus on being holistic towards optimism, right? Towards the grander vision of what optimism is, the whole thing, and that the fractal process is holographic. We represent that, and it's portal that grows optimism overall. That when people first like answer questions and participate in the game, in some way they begin interacting, right? They get set up to do that, and that's a starting place, foot in the door almost.
good point. It also reminded me, one other thing too that I meant to mention is that by succeeding with Optimism Fractal and growing Optimism Fractal however we can, whatever the best strategy is to do, and like by making the tools more available, then many people can experiment with different kinds of prompts as well, and ultimately attract a lot more people to experiment with different things with the fractal process and write better articles and so forth that better explain, and have lots more people to welcome people and figure out the best ways to communicate to people and so forth to make it welcoming for newcomers to optimism, to experienced builders, to everyone in between. So by developing Optimism Fractal in whatever way is best, that will allow it to make it easy for anybody to say, hey, this is great, but I want to try my own fractal in this way, or I want to specifically support this community to do this or something like that. And then we can enable that kind of like, I guess, where the kingdom is Cambrian explosion, like that kind of term about how like, all kinds of experimentation can happen basically with the respect team and fractals from there. And we could be leading the way, like Rosmari said, yes. So have a lot of opportunity, and I think also a lot of responsibility too. Don't want to put too much responsibility, but I feel a lot of responsibility to help enable that basically and help lead the way for people to be able to do those things. So very excited about it. I don't know. It's there's 13 minutes left until the top of the hour. Does anybody want to share? I see Nuno's unmuted. Jason is as well.
I would like to share something. It's not about what you should be doing or we should be doing, which is the topic of today, but I just took notice that, and this is from my experience of playing the respect game with my friends in real life. If I tap in coordination in Optimistic's website, there is 3 results. So coordination word appears 3 times at least. However, the word accountability never appears. And that's where I found that the respect game is, it's important to coordinate, of course, but it's also important to solve disputes. Like, are we working together on this or not? What have you done? And this is accountability. It's like the daily operations of governance. So yeah, but it's just needed to put this out.
Yeah, great point. Thanks, Nuno. So accountability. That's something. Yeah, so one of the projects I have in the Notion site is like I would love for the community and anybody who's interested to get more involved in writing about it and stuff like that. Like I've read most of the stuff on those websites. Rosmari and Tadas, some others, I've written some of it too, and for a lot of helpful feedback. But it just like I just haven't thought about accountability that much, I guess, as I'm writing it. But I thought about coordination a lot. But that's a great point. That accountability is for sure a big benefit of it. So I'll just finish this point. Yeah, one of the projects is basically like kind of to I think eventually the Optimism Fractal website could be like really much more decentralized, where it's already on Notion, so people can contribute in different ways. But we could have like a way that people can vote on what to say on the website, and people can also kind of like volunteer to write different pages and stuff like that. So I would love to kind of like kind of more so harness the wisdom of the crowd in that way, and like basically like if you're interested in writing about accountability, or other people are interested about this different aspect of it, to make it so we can make like the website and the communication as good as possible. And I'll note that and add accountability somewhere too. Sorry, I got a bit inspired there. I want to respond there, but go ahead if you want, Jason. or Nuno, if you want to respond. Or...
No, I think that I need to listen to that again. That all came fast, and I was still like trying to think about what my thought was. You only had half my attention there, so I'm gonna have to replay that. But sorry if I'm repeating. I feel as though there could be a really powerful incentive for when people take responsibility for a shortcoming. And like one way of understanding what accountability is, right? To like describe what you do after that, to take responsibility for a shortcoming, then how you make up for it, right? To give that story can be something that is, I don't know what, transformative, and it could be an incentive. It could be something like a question. It could be something like a consensus, like its own fractal, the accountability fractal for the moral inventory of when people do redemptive acts or they do something regenerative. You know, as we know, the world of crypto is, I think of the world of crypto as two hemispheres, the degen and the regen. If you guys are familiar with what degen is, right? Yeah, degenerative means like it's just like scrapyard, it's all going to hell, whatever, just junky stuff, and it's all just a laugh. But regenerative is like sacred materialism. It's like let's heal the soil and let's mend the earth and this sort of stuff regeneratively, and that, you know, it's for the industrial shortcomings, it's for the community shortcomings, it's for the personal shortcomings. You regenerate, take redemptive actions, and that's what accountability means. So we might be able to explore that and reward it, right? Find a way to reward it. We can lead that way. There are a lot of people who would love to get credit for what they've done to get their moral inventory up.
It sounds like overly complex to integrate this redemption aspect into the respect game as it is right now. But I'm not saying, but maybe there's a way to do it, and we just need to imagine more. Anyhow, I felt that by playing the respect game, accountability would magically would magically result, because we were here last week each other, right? We said we were going to do this, and so. But maybe there is ways to actually incorporate this redemption aspect that you're talking, which is awesome.
That's only one edge of it. I think that they're very related concepts. It's true, and we'll give it some time with our imagination to see what approach really does make sense. I don't want to overcomplicate it, but they are related concepts, right? Because there's this thing about how there's a direct responsibility for at times, and then there's also like anybody could have taken. Everyone's accountable in a way to step up in some way. So the way I was thinking of it was kind of just on the creative input of participants for where they see how they understand their accountability in some sense, or what they're willing to pledge to, or I don't know what. I don't want to force it. It's a new idea.
Yeah, just I'm sorry again if I'm bringing chaos to the discussion, but right now I'm thinking in this shortcoming of the respect game where people vote for their friends. Okay, this happens, I guess, and it's a natural thing. So yep. Maybe these new ways we can.
You're right about the popularity contest of how, you know, it's on social media. You can post a video with kind of fluff content that you'll get thousands of thumbs up, likes for, and then something that's a little bit more critical, that's a lot more work, gets a lot less positive reinforcement, just because it's a popularity contest and people will vote for their friends rather more so. I mean, that puts a wrinkle in it, but it's to be sorted out because everyone has to agree it's like a reputation building thing, fractal, right?
Yeah, if somebody votes for the same friend each time, then they might lose some reputation for doing that. And plus, if they all become friends, then that makes a whole other plan too, which is it's also a friendship building process too. So I think one of the things is like there's so many benefits of it. It's kind of difficult to summarize. I remember Will said that's one of his favorite reasons for joining, for the accountability. I see Rosemary wrote some maybe the reset game is heavenly. Maybe we should write that too. Doing God's work. All right. I don't know if you want to share that loud, Rosemary. Feel free. Would be curious to hear if you want to.
Yeah, it's just the accountability got to me now, and everyone is accountable, right? So actually, accountability building in such a space, virtual space, even in any space, is doing God's work, because He wants us to be accountable, to have purpose. So that's why I said maybe the respect game is heavenly then. I mean, there's something special to it. It just feels good. So, yeah.
I agree. I think that it can be transformative at that level. I think that like engaging that direction of having people think and evaluate where, like, just imagine where you're starting with your moral inventory and how you're building. And you're encouraging, the group is encouraging each other by acknowledging each other's optimization of things, right? Adding value and reality in the community, and you share your story, and then you all inspire.
It's like a self-development group accelerated program.
Yep.
And I just sound now like what is it? Jordan Peterson.
Okay, well,
I think I missed that too.
What was that?
I think I missed that too.
I'm sorry.
That's what you said, Rosemary.
I think I said that now I start to sound like Jordan Peterson.
Really? I haven't been listening to him.
Okay, yeah, I listen to some of his stuff, and he's got a lot of good points that that Rosemary was saying. Some similar stuff, I suppose. Very interesting. We have 4 minutes to the top of the hour. I don't know, maybe if we all want to, if anyone wants to share some last thoughts before we conclude. I could also, I suppose, keep the Zoom room open afterwards if you want to keep talking too, but just don't want to. I think it's good not to take up too much of everybody's time and stuff like that. And of course, we'll be back next week, and we're at the beginning of our season here, so we'll have many more weeks of respect games and town halls where we can discuss. I see Rosemary said going now. Bye. Thanks everyone. Also, I forgot to mention Vlad said gotta go, thank you all, and Patrick gave his respect too, so much appreciation to thanks Rosmari and for everybody who joined and who's helped participate and contribute so much. See you, Rosmari. Thanks so much. And then Jason, Nuno, Jake, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up here?
No, I think that
I think everyone started speaking at the same time. Somebody go ahead, I guess. I don't know who.
Yeah, Jason.
I think that was a really good discussion. I feel as though I'm surprised to be compared to Jordan Peterson in some sense, because of maybe there's a horseshoe effect of like there's a parent proximity, but there's definitely a gap, right? We're on different sides of the continuum in terms of a viewpoint towards, I guess, a moral high ground in that. But I wanted to create that distance. I wanted to make sure that that's there, because I feel as though there's a very shallow aspect of populism, and I feel as though the perspective Jordan Peterson offers is more dangerous than beneficial, far more often than not. And I'll have to be careful to make sure that I'm not accidentally wandering into that sort of moral panic aspect of moral inventory. I think moral inventory is a positive thing. And it's up to the peer review, it's up to the group, though, to make that acknowledgement, to share that inspiration, and not make it shallow or anything like that. But it's been a long chat today. It's been a long conversation. It's a little bit overtime for me, so I'll leave off on that and save it for next time. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Jason. No problem. And just to be clear too, I think Rosemary meant that as a compliment, because I mean, personally, I know Jordan Peterson's fairly controversial in some ways, but I have a lot of respect for him. I've learned a lot from him, and I think Rosmari feels the same way. So I think what you said, she meant as a compliment. But anyway, I agree. It's been a long conversation, and appreciate all your thoughts and care and inspiration and stuff like that. And I suppose if you want to add anything else after that, then feel free. Otherwise, I know Nuno and Jake were both I think unmuted and ready to say something too.
I just wanted to ask if Tadaz is okay, and maybe he's taking a good vacation.
Yeah, thanks for asking. I think he's okay. I want to reach out to him. I haven't had a chance to reach out recently, and I haven't spoke with him since, I don't know, several weeks, since before the break. I think he joined the last like the last one of the season. I think like a month ago. I know he liked like a couple posts that I write. He gave thumbs up recently, like a couple days ago. So he's reading the posts, and I'm curious about his updates with the OREC and stuff like that, because I checked his GitHub and I haven't seen him working on it. But I think he's doing well, and I'll reach out, and hopefully he'll be able to join next week as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. Anything else you want to share, Nuno or Jake? Do you want to share anything to wrap up, or should we close it out?
Only thing is Jordan Peterson on Optimism Fractal when?
we'll have to work on making that connection. Actually, Jordan Peterson, one thing I really like is he gave an interview on Joe Rogan one time where he talked about the fractal process. Basically, there's a biblical passage where Moses like said, like, or I think God said to Moses, I don't exactly remember it, but that like you have to separate the groups into the elders into groups of 10, and then they'll pick a leader, and then they'll pick a leader, and they'll pick a leader. So there's actually like biblical like kind of reference towards the fractal democracy. Yeah.
No.
There's, I can share it with you. And he refers to a phrase called subsidiarianism. That's true. Yeah.
Even though I'm not a Christian, I find it amazing that in ancient times they were already having this. So please share.
Yeah, I'll share the link in the maybe in the Discord afterwards. He's also starting something called ARC, the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship, where they're trying to improve governance too. So I've actually thought a lot about like trying to reach out. He's actually somebody from the Fractal community gave him the More Equal Animals book and took a picture with him that that Fractal Democracy is based upon. So I think there might be some good connections. So I don't know to answer your question, Jake, when it'll happen, but something that would be great, as well as many other leaders and influential people. They're welcome to join Optimism Fractal, and hope to empower them.
It would be perfect, because the idea is that it's supposed to be like a reconciling ground. It's supposed to be for differences of opinion to find what is agreeable, to come to agreement, and that, yeah, as in terms of that as not only its own value but a bit of a spectacle can be beneficial in so many directions. So it's a great example. Jordan Peterson when, right? Let's have a good old debate conversation. What we're seeing.
It'd be fun.
Would be fun.
Absolutely.
Overdue, if anything.
What's that?
Overdue, if anything.
Yeah, overdue. Where you at, Jordan? Oh, where's Oprah and all the famous people? Just kidding. I did share a link. I actually created an article, edencreators.com/arc, ARC, and right at the top of that, there's a timestamp to the Jordan Peterson podcast where we talked about this too. So you can find that there. And then yeah, I suppose we're a few minutes past the top of the hour, so we can wrap it up. If anybody has any last thoughts you really want to share before we go, then feel free. Otherwise, we could wrap it up saying 3, 2, 1, go Optimism Fractal or something like that. If you guys are up for it. What do you think? Any last thoughts, or should we wrap up now?
Thank you for having me, and I hope to be here next time.
Yeah, we have a lot happening here. I think that having good confrontations can really help us out monetize conflicts. Right? Let's end the war profiteering, and let's out monetize conflict by transforming it to confrontation. It's better entertainment and makes more progress. So if how that there's controversy gets attention, and attention is the economy. Scarcity of our time is the attention that we have. We can keep going and going. We can just keep going. You want to say 3, 2, 1, go?
Ready. I'll also say thanks for the great thoughts, Jason, and you're very welcome, Nuno. Thanks everybody so much for being here and a great conversation at this town hall. And thanks for the great respect game. Looking forward to seeing you again. Hope everybody can make it for next week's respect game, 17 UTC on every Thursday. I also saw Jake was unmuted too. Was there anything else you wanted to say, Jake, before we wrap up?
Nope, just thank you. This was another amazing week. So just, yeah, thank you.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much, Jake. Really appreciate it. And thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you everybody so much for being here. I think we can count down. And if you guys would like to join me for 3, 2, 1, go Optimism Fractal, I'd be honored and okay, sounds good. 3, 2, 1, go Optimism Fractal. Optimism, dude. Go Optimism. All right. Thank you everybody so much and see you next time.
Good guys.
Bye, guys.